Hey, what's up? This is Kevin from Kevin's Barbecue Joints, and this one's really cool. It's with PJ Inthanousay. He is from Goldee's Barbecue in Fort Worth, Texas. I've been curious to talk to PJ for a while, and we've been trying to make this work for a little while as well, because I wanted to see what it was like to work at Goldee's Barbecue prior to being deemed number one by Texas Monthly Magazine, but from someone who didn't have a barbecue background. His older brother, Nudohn, as well as the rest of the bunch, had a storied background of working at these amazing barbecue joints, and he came into it after they had opened, but prior to the list coming out. So it's really interesting to look at that angle and to understand his motivation and his inspiration and his favorite items and his favorite things to do with the restaurant and what his dreams are. And so I just wanted to see how all the different pieces that Goldee's work, and PJ is an essential part, but he's also a part that you might not know about. So here's his story. He also gives some amazing tips at the very end of this interview, which are just fantastic and stuff that you would never imagine. But I can't thank him enough for taking the time. If you're digging these, please subscribe. That way you don't miss out. Also hit the bell notification. I have a website at kevinsbbqjoints.com. But at the end, stay safe and visit your local barbecue joint. Good morning, PJ. How are you doing?
Good. How about you?
Doing well. How do you pronounce your last name?
Inthanousay.
Inthanousay. That's easy. I don't know
Oh,
why.
yeah. The length of it makes it look difficult, but it's pretty much how it's spelled out.
And then what's your full name then, too?
My full name is Nudohn PJ Inthanousay.
Okay, so PJ is your middle name, and it's just PJ.
Yeah.
That's cool. How did that come out?
So my older brother's middle name is AJ. Mine is PJ. My younger brother is TJ. We really don't know where it came from. My mom, my brother said my mom said it came from a movie, but she doesn't know what movie. And I feel like if you would have named us off a movie, you would know what movie. So I don't know.
Did you grow up in Arlington?
Like on the edge of it, I'm on like Grand Prairie side. Now I'm looking at the highway, and the other side of it is Arlington.
And Grand Prairie that's where Duval is, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. What was it like growing up in Grand Prairie?
No, I spent most of my time in Arlington. That's where my parents worked. So like, we were also on the edge, and they had us transfer to an Arlington school. Yeah, I didn't really spend much time in Grand Prairie.
Okay. Did you know about Nudohn's connection? Like, obviously you knew his friends and stuff, so you were friends with his friends, kind of like how my little brother was friends with all my friends. It kind of, what's the age difference?
3 years older.
And that's what mine is 3 years too. And that's like a good, I think that's a really good age range for kids to be, because it's like, it's close enough, but still that he's your older brother. And then what's your younger brother, the 3 years too?
2 years.
2 years. Is he interested in barbecue? That's like a quick aside.
In accounting right now.
Oh, he's an accountant.
Yeah.
He's probably the smart one of all of us.
During the pandemic, when we were struggling, he was like getting internships for like 30 an hour, and we're like, of course it's him that's doing better than all of us.
Yeah. And there's always a need for an accountant. It's always like there's going to be like through like the passage of time, there's always a need for. Were you interested in food, and were you interested in going to that field, or was that something that you wanted to do because of, just want to work with your brother? Or how did this path work is what I'm kind of trying to get at.
Well, growing up, like my family, we've always been interested in food, like eating nice places and trying different foods out. But in terms of like working in a restaurant, I was kind of ignorant in my younger age, like my teenage age. I always said I'll never work in a restaurant. That's not for me. I can't do it. To an extent, I still can't. Like, I feel like if it wasn't for Goldee's and my connection with my brother and his friends, because it's super relaxed there, and I feel like I can be a little loose. So I can't see myself being in like a more strict environment, restaurant, having to be on top of my game in every little aspect.
Because there are those high pressure restaurants, and there are ones I've worked in a bunch of different ones, and there's ones where you feel it's intimidating at times, because you feel like you always have to be on, and that is nice. That's kind of what I wanted to get at too later in this interview is to talk about just the attitude and the way, because it feels different with you guys than anybody else, and probably it's because you guys are a lot younger. There's young guys in barbecue, lots of young guys in barbecue, but it just seems like more of a family and friends, and like it's I think that it comes through with the food too, because then you could be kind of more free with what you guys are doing. When did you start? Did you start? Were you there? You weren't there day one for Goldee's, were you?
No, I started curbside, but all I was doing was register. We were getting a little more busier and busier. I think Dallas Morning News dropped an article, and like we got slammed, and then like y'all need help, just let me know. And then from there on, I just became full time.
Did you like doing the register? Was that something fun?
Oh, it was easiest job in my life.
Did you ever do it anymore? Do you?
No, right now I'm on sides at the restaurant during service. Sometimes I'll do register if like I had a bad night, like if I go out and I'm feeling tired in the morning. But for the most part, I'm in the middle.
As things were progressing, were you doing other things? Have you gotten a chance to do the cooking at all? You're involved with that a little bit, right?
I haven't cooked brisket or ribs. The farthest I've gone right now is sausage.
Okay.
Just the way with the list came out and how our schedules are, I don't really have time to learn the brisket and ribs right now or the turkey. But maybe one day. I'm always watching watching them cook. I was joking with Johnny the other week about talking about barbecue consultations. I was like, I'm gonna charge a discounted price and tell him I can either tell you what Johnny says, or you can go pay double the price for what he's gonna tell or what I'm gonna tell.
Yeah, exactly. And it's weird, like because you're seeing it from the inside, but you're also a little bit on the outside. What was it like as things were building up towards the list coming out, and were you? And I know, and I've talked to Jalen. I know you guys were anticipating something, but what was it when you guys found out? How did that shift? There's a pretty big shift overnight, right?
Yeah, you talking about like finding out the list?
Yeah.
We had from our grand opening, we had a big, I don't know how to say it. We had hype. We had a big line that day. Of course, people knew Johnny, Dylan, Lane, Jalen, their backgrounds. But yeah, there's hype around it. So in terms of handling the situation, we kind of knew what to do. But I think with time, it's the adding of like doing it constantly weekend after week that we have to adjust with. But so far it's been so good. It's been pretty good.
But what was that weekend like when all the news and stuff was there? What was that? Was that bizarre?
It was crazy. We had to cut the line off. I don't know if it was that weekend or the weekend next, but I believe Johnny, he like cut the line at like 10:30 or something.
I remember seeing something like really before you guys even opened, right?
Yeah. And we had no parking. It was bad. And we live off like a somewhat main road, but it's in Kennedale, so you can't park on the side really of that main road, or there's no parking nearby. Next door neighbor's a house. Next building over is a corner store, and like there was really no parking, and we had like maybe 20 parking spots. That line probably, if it was a straight line, it probably could have hit like a quarter mile at least. We just had so many people away, and then I believe some guy parked on the side of the road, and for whatever reason he left his hazards lights on, and in the middle of service, Jalen had to go jumpstart his car. It was really hectic.
and there was news people there too, right? Wasn't like
yeah, there's news people there. They're inside the building filming us. What really irritated us it was just a quick second, but like one of them came behind the line without even asking, and he was just getting in the way and stuff.
And what is that like for you, for the fact like that every single person, well not every, but almost every person is taking photos, filming it's such a, I get, the more I think about it, like it's such an odd thing, but I guess it's just like how things are now with phones and stuff, but it's like people are filming everything.
So to be honest, pictures in the restaurant, it's not really me. They don't care about the side guy. Or Nudohn at the register. But no, it's still crazy. I think the craziest part is just the people that come around. We're getting more and more people that come out of state now. So I think that's more so the crazy part. The pictures, I think we're getting accustomed to. The only thing bad about it is, I say, wasting time during the service line, but 2-second picture won't hurt.
So is there a side that we're not, I want to get through a bunch of different things, but is there a side that you prefer, that you like the most?
A side, I'd say my favorite has to be either coleslaw or the cheese grits.
Is there a reason why?
I just like the vinegar-based coleslaw. It cuts out the richness of the meat. And then I never really had cheese grits growing up, and this might actually be my first time ever having cheese grits here. It just hit the spot.
I think a lot of people haven't had cheese grits.
Yeah, even though it's same situation for me, but it gets surprising every day.
Before you started working at Goldee's, had you eaten a lot of barbecue?
Just the typical spots: Pecan Lodge here, La Barbecue, Franklin's, Terry Black's in Austin, Valentina's. Really think that's it.
So you knew. So then those are all places that are really good. So you knew what good barbecue was.
Yeah. Just hanging out with my brother and his friends. They just showed me around because whenever I was in Austin, I stayed with them, and there's a bunch of food heads over there, so they just show me everything.
Talking to Jalen, I was asking Lito what places he like and what they like to do, and he was like, "Yeah, we like to eat. We place." So it's and it's a great. Like Texas has such amazing food, and there's so many options. But now I want to get a little bit into your heritage. Have you gone back? Have you gone back to Laos at all?
No, I've been trying to, but I want to go with like my cousins and family, and we have a big family. Like my cousins alone it's like 14 of us just on side, and it's hard to get everything together and have everybody on the same schedule. But I'm to go. My uncle who lives out in LA, sometimes he takes like 3-month hiatuses, and like he goes to Southeast Asia and just travels. And I was supposed to go with him, I believe, like 2 years ago. But I don't think he went. I think it was 2 years ago, but he didn't go because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. And for people that might not know, and because I was going to be speaking with you, I Googled and I looked at the map, and I didn't realize, number one, I didn't realize how Laos was shaped, and I didn't realize, because I knew that obviously it existed. I didn't realize, and its proximity to Vietnam, it's all within that area, and it kind of wraps, I think, kind of around, and there's like a large river that goes, and from like video, I was watching a bunch of YouTube videos on it, and it looks beautiful. Like it looks like it would definitely be somewhere you'd want to visit.
Oh yeah.
The food looks incredible.
Yeah, I gotta go one day, hopefully soon.
And Jalen had mentioned this, and it's just the same thing for you. What is your favorite Laotian restaurant? Closed?
Closed or close?
Closed. He said it shut down or something?
Was he talking about Nudohn?
I think so.
They're not closed. They're in the process of selling, or they're trying to find a buyer. But from what I know, they're still operating.
Yeah. Okay. Do you eat a lot of Laotian food at all, or is that something that you got more at home?
No, Nudohn cooks his dishes, and I'll eat from there. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, not really. Only if we go out to a restaurant or something like that.
If you guys had family dinners with that, or family big things with your family, would you guys ever eat like specific dishes?
Yeah, like at the family events, we'll eat bunch of Lao food there, and then with Lao New Year's coming up at the temple, we'll be eating a good amount there too.
When's New Year's?
So I guess the official date is like the 14th through the 16th.
Okay.
But tradition here, as far as I know, that it's like every weekend basically, and then the last weekend, which is what I believe the 30th, or the 29th through the 30th, or the May 1st. Okay. That's the biggest weekend. I believe it's the biggest event for Lao New Year's in all of America.
Huh.
Or top 3, one of those.
Nudohn, is he the one that obviously the sticky rice is something that is that something you guys grew up on?
Oh yeah, that was my mom probably cooked that 5 to 6 times out of the week.
Really?
Yeah, that's probably what we ate most of the time. If you look at Lao dishes, they look hugely different from what most people are used to, and almost intimidating. And as a kid, when I saw it, to me it was like, I don't know what that is. I don't want it. But the sausage, it's just a sausage.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's mainly what I ate. But as I grew older, I started trying different things. But yeah, there's still a whole like variety of things I haven't tried. Or
what were some of the funky things? Like
the lop, it's like a minced pork with just a whole bunch of different veggies and sauces.
Are there things that are like more fish based, or things that you don't like? Do you like? Do you like eating whole fish?
Yeah. No, it was just more so the look of it. to me at the time, it just didn't look appealing as a kid.
Mhm.
I've never seen anything. I grew up around it, but like also growing up around like my friends and going out to eat there, like I've never seen anything like it. So to
Yeah.
me, it was like I was like, what am I really eating? And but like I go there, I realized, and then so yeah, I guess I kind of took a late start to eating Laos food, like deep into it.
And so probably it's not all presentation, it's more what the food is. It's
Yeah,
like, yeah, that presentation isn't as important as it is for all these other, like everyone, these days
yeah.
makes things so it looks good on Instagram or something. So it's, can you describe the sticky rice for people that might
Uh,
not know?
like the sticky rice and the sausage, or just the sticky rice?
The sticky rice by itself.
So it's really just we have like the way we cook it is it's like a metal pot, like a basket, like a
Okay.
woven basket. Just you soak the rice overnight, and then you boil the water, put the basket over, dump the rice in, and you let it steam up, and then it's like a clumpy, not mushy, but it's clumpy. Like it's packed in together,
Mhm.
and all the grains are they stick together. That's why they're sticky rice.
But is it with papaya or with mango?
Yeah, I eat rice with everything because it's like you can eat it with papaya salad, the sausage. I eat it with eggs. I eat it with chicken. I think maybe the only thing I haven't ate it with was a burger.
You could
But
try, well, you could put a burger patty on it, kind of like a loco moco. Have you had a loco moco before?
no, I have not.
Yeah, it's like Hawaiian. It's like it's rice with like a burger patty and then fried egg and gravy, and it's really it's really good. It's like something that, like, I think they created it for surfers. Like after you'd surf for a day, you go and have that because it's like a lot of carbs, and like it really, like, it's satisfying after you've like been exercising in the water for like an hour and a half or 2 hours. But it's really good, and with hot sauce on it, it's, you'll probably like come across it the next couple of years. But like any place that says like Hawaiian barbecue, loco moco is probably one of their big. But it's like a rice and kind of, I don't know if it's sticky rice, but but your guys' sticky rice, is it just sticky rice, or do you guys have, is it mango sticky rice?
So mango sticky rice is like a dish where like we incorporate mangoes and the sauce with it. But for the most part, it's just the sticky rice itself.
Okay, and that's unusual for a barbecue place to have that.
Yeah, mango sticky rice is really almost as a dessert.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah. Nudohn just pulled it out of his bag and said, "Let's do this."
seems like people love it. I've heard so many great things about it.
I think this past week when we first ran our Lao sausage again, we had a few people asking like, "So what about the mango sticky rice?" Back soon.
And what's that Lao sausage? I think Jalen mentioned you guys were putting that back on the menu.
Yeah. So like back before the list, when we were running Lao sausage, we'd do like 20 pounds of sausage. It would some days it'll sell out and some days it wouldn't. And so we bumped it to 40 for last week, and it sold out quick. And now we're thinking like how much more do we need to do? And but at the same time it was kind of hectic for service because it added a step or two for me and Nudohn. Kind of made the line go a bit slower.
Is it
But
because there's a sauce, or is that why? Or
sauce, there's a rice, and then right now normally we only have the house sausage. So like when we call out meats, we'll say brisket, ribs, turkey, and then one link. And now like, we're so used to it. So say it's brisket, ribs, turkey, and two links. Now we gotta ask, is it both house? Is it one house, one Lao
yeah,
sausage? Just saying two links. And then so yeah, we're getting accustomed to that, but it should be
it's,
all fine.
yeah, it slows things up at the beginning. But, and I think people too would think that if they were like just to jump in and work with you guys, it would be stressful. But it's not stressful. It's, you guys are all like, just, you guys have been doing it for so long now. It's kind of like just working with family at a restaurant.
Yep, exactly.
If someone was to ask you what the perfect platter or something that you would want to put together, what would you recommend? What would you want? Like, say you were putting together a platter for yourself to eat.
From our restaurant,
Yeah.
for me, there
What are your favorite things?
my favorite things are either brisket, turkey's a sleeper. I really like the turkey,
Yeah.
and I really want to say it, everything. I would if I put a plate down, there's definitely everything on there. I gotta have my coleslaw, and my cheese grits.
You gotta have those things. Have you made the bread too? Have you worked on making the bread?
Yeah, for a short period of time, I was the one like mixing the bread and the dough and stuff. I shaped the bread like maybe in 1 or 2 days. Super easy though. It's just we had people designated to it. Yeah, that's pretty much. It's nothing too crazy to do. It's just time consuming.
What kind of hours are you working right now?
I'm gonna say no more than 8 hours a day for 5 days.
Are you doing like late shifts or are you early shifts or?
For the most part, the latest I go in is 2 to today I'll go in at 2 and I'll probably get out around between 6 and 8, depending on how the sauce goes. Yeah, we're making sausage today. But yeah, for the most part, it's pretty good. We're dialing in. After the list, it was real hectic. We're working like 70-hour weeks, but we managed to get it down now for all of us.
Are all you guys there at all times? Like, is it?
It used to be. Right now, I believe Lane, Chuck, and Johnny are there right now. They're trimming briskets. Me, Nudohn, my roommate Dell, who's just started working with us past few months, and Jalen will be out there making sausage at 2.
What do you foresee for yourself? Do you want to just continue working or do you want to have your own place someday, or do you want to, like, what are your dreams? What do you want to do?
To be honest, I'm not sure, because before I joined them, I was working for my dad at his clinic, but I was going to school for accounting also. So I was doing like bookkeeping work for him.
Yeah.
And then I joined them, and basically all that got put on hold. And so right now I'm not sure what I want to do.
Well, it's going to be, as summer comes, it's going to be busy summer.
Oh yeah.
So you're probably not going to have a whole lot of time to think about what you want to do until maybe fall or something.
Really just want to hit the lottery. But,
are you playing lottery? Do you play lottery?
I play if it gets over like 350, but for the most part, I don't really play.
Yeah, no. If it gets like in the 200s for me, I'm like, okay, that sounds kind of interesting. Which is so stupid. Like, if it was 30 million, it would be nice to win 30 million. Yeah. Like, but everyone in their mind, like when it gets really over 150 or something, like, oh god, it's time to buy a lot of tickets. Well, so then what do you do? What do you like to do outside of? Because I think there was a link to something on your Instagram. Is that do you have another business, or do you have another, like a clothing business or something, or do you? What was that? I'm trying to think of there was something else. Do you have another business at all?
So me and my friends were pretty into like clothes and fashion. Mm-hmm. So for the most part, we do a lot of shopping, hang out, and eat. So maybe one day I'll get into making my own clothing brand. It's been on my mind a few times, but it's just nothing that actually stuck and I dedicated my time to.
It's got to be something you're passionate about.
And it was basketball, but I mean, you can only go so far as a 5'6" Asian.
Yeah, I know. I love basketball too, but I'm far too short.
Yeah. Found a crazy passion for anything right now.
Is it still things like with drops and things online with shoes and different things? Like is that still a thing?
Oh yeah. Last year was a pretty crazy year for shoes. It's like they dropped like 10,000 pairs versus, or I want to say like 50,000 pairs versus like 5 million people trying to get it. And it just causes a lot of hectic, like stress and anger, I guess, at whatever. It's a big old, a lot of people take L's. It's a lot of losses in the fashion industry.
Have you scored shoes like that before?
Oh yeah, I scored a good amount of. Well, I want to say good amount. I scored probably like 3 to 5 high profile shoes, but I've definitely missed out on at least 20 other high profile shoes.
Yeah. Are you just due to collect them, or was that something that you would?
No, I wear my shoes. If I need the money, I'll resell my shoes. But for the most part, yeah, I wear them.
So you're enjoying your time right now at Goldee's, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You were there last summer then, right?
Last summer, yes. Like 2020.
Yeah, 20. Was it? Does it get pretty hot out there?
Oh yeah. Some days we'll see like 100 degree days, and Canada's just dry over there also.
Do you have any tips for people that are coming? Or you guys expanded parking, right?
Yeah, we're paying the next door neighbor for their front yard, and then their next door neighbor for their backyard. And their backyard is like, I want to say 50 to 75 yards.
If you're coming out, like, is it something that Would you recommend like Ubering out, or would you recommend can you park, or are there any issues anymore?
There's no issues with parking anymore now that we have the two lots. At first, yeah, when we first like the list came out, we recommended Ubering, but yeah, right now the parking's all good now.
Okay, cool. And then what time would you recommend people show up?
I say if you want to try everything like beef ribs and pork ribs, the whole spread, I say no later than 10:30.
Okay.
But there's people that show up around. The first person usually shows up around 6 or 7. Pro tip: if you're watching this, if you show up at the very last second, like 2:45 to 3 o'clock, that's when you get hooked up. I believe it was our last brisket, and it was like we stop at 3, or like whenever the line pretty much dies down, which is whatever happens, it happens to be 3.
Yeah.
And some guy, he came in at like 3:10, and he ordered like a half pound of brisket, and then me and Jana was like, all right, you're getting a full brisket for a half pound. And yeah, so because either way, it was our last brisket that we had to cut into to give him his half pound. So, and we couldn't just, if we're gonna cut into it after him, it's just gonna be thrown out.
Yeah.
And then gave it all to him.
That's cool. Was he stoked?
Oh yeah, he was very.
That's kind of the cool win. So that's a cute, like that's something that I've never heard anybody mention. So if you show up 2:30 through 2:30, 2:45, chances are like, but as long as you guys still have food.
Yeah,
right?
we have a good amount of food. Chances are you'll get hooked up.
You're taking a small risk. But here's a question I was gonna ask, and because have you met Joe from Ministers of Smoke?
I have a few times, but I don't think we really talked. It was more so just greeting each other.
Yeah. Because he mentioned something during when I was interviewing Jalen that I want to ask you. So is the place haunted?
Oh yeah, Kenneth shows up every once in a while. He was the previous owner for like, I want to say like 20 or 30 years, and I think he passed away in like 2010. But sometimes he shows himself.
How does he show himself?
I think it was like 2 weeks ago. It was during the service line, and like one of the border planks that were like around our window it just fell. Some days the door from our smokehouse to the kitchen, it would just blow open, and it's just minor stuff like that.
So he's just kind of saying hi.
Oh yeah.
Just check it. So his name is Kenneth. You're the first person to mention Kenneth. What do you want people to know about you? Is there anything that like that, or that you want people to know about Goldee's? We've said some rad tips. I
don't know. Nothing really comes to mind because I feel like with the list, like all the news articles and people, they already hit us up. And for the most part, they know what we have to offer. And
has someone come in that has been interesting to you? Like is there someone that you've been like a celebrity or an athlete? Have you had anybody come through yet that?
So I feel kind of bad for this one, but I believe like the first few weeks after the list, there's a former Dallas Cowboys player that he came in, and nobody really acknowledged him because I didn't know. And he came back with like an autograph like poster and magazine of him, and we're just like, oh crap, we didn't know he was from the Cowboys. I don't know if you've seen Succession. Forgot his name on the show. He's also in the show Billionaires. But yeah, we had a character from Succession show up. Nobody too big. We had a special effects guy that working on he's working on Yellowstone, and he's worked on Fast and Furious series.
Oh, cool.
But nobody too crazy yet.
I'm sure, like, and too, like sometimes like people come through because when I worked at barbecue place, there'd be people that come through, and then you're like, oh, that was that guy. I forgot. Like, okay, that because you're just doing your job, you're doing whatever, and it's just. Does a day go by pretty quick?
Some days it goes by quick. Yeah. Some days it'll feel like we did 5 hours of work and it's 12:30.
Well, yeah. And do you think do most people understand how to order, or are there people still having issues? Like, are there any tips for people like to get it in their mind before they come in?
For the most part, people know how to order, but there are some people that we understand what they're meaning, but like it's just a slight bit complicated. Like on our menu, it's by the half pound. So they'll come in and they say, I want 3 briskets. And so somebody it might sound like, oh, they want 3 pounds of brisket, but in reality they're talking about 3 half pounds. So like they want a pound and a half total. Most part everybody orders pretty good. It's just what makes it a little more difficult is they try to split orders or split payments, and or they want to order for here, then I'll order for to go also. For the most part, everybody knows how to order.
And for people that are watching this that haven't been or don't know, you guys don't have any online ordering. It's all ordering. It's all counter.
Yeah. We're working on our pre-order trailer right now. It's probably be here in a few months. So that time it'll be online ordering then, but as of right now.
So that'll be smart. That'll be a separate thing, right?
Oh yeah. I think it'll be we'll be running it through the side or like the smokehouse, and we have a separate team for that during service.
You could have Kenneth do it if you want. He could. He could work on that at night. He'll do the night shift with all the other ghosts in the area that come in to get food. Can people buy? I was always wondering, do people buy loaves of bread?
So we used to back in the day before the list. We were already making like as many loaves as possible. Like even to this day, we still like it's still basically the same amount, but it goes by so quick that like we get at least 20 people a day asking, can I get a loaf of bread? We're just like, yeah, sorry, we're not selling any loaves right now. We gotta save it for the line. But we do give the bread for free, and it's relative to how much meat you order. And for the most part, the people that do ask for a loaf of bread, they order a lot of food. Yeah. So like we're like, you're gonna get a good amount of bread anyways, but right now we're not selling it.
And maybe when you guys do the trailer thing, maybe that'll be something that eventually that's because there's so many different things, and maybe eventually open an additional day, because right now you guys are open, for people that don't know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Which day is, because everyone's always looking for the right day to come. What day would you recommend is the least crowded for someone? Or is there a day? Not, or maybe not anymore.
Flip flops between Friday and Sunday.
Okay.
In how I see it. Yeah, I believe I want to say it was either this past weekend or the weekend before. It was like normally our line starts at like 6 or 7, and it builds up about like 20 people around 9.
Yeah.
I think this past Friday or the Friday before, we didn't have anybody till like 9:30.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Friday. So like if you had a friend coming in from town, you would say you probably would say Friday, right?
Yeah, I'd say Friday.
Yeah, because weekends people have generally off if they have a job. Like if real life still exists, then they would do that. But this is cool. This is great. This is nice, because now when people will see you generally right now, they will see you working sides, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
I think there's talks of me like hopping in, because Jalen's cutting right now, and he gets it pretty early, and that cutting on the block during service is really draining. So I think they're talking about me possibly hopping in for like the last hour. Yeah. But for the most part, I'll be doing sides.
Have you worked the block ever?
Only at like the last few people. Like if we finish the line like around 2:30 and no one's coming in, and we're all resting, and then Jalen's like, I got it. And then so I'll hop there and cut, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, because it's an animal unto itself. It's a little stressful.
There's a lot of things that go into it.
That's awesome. That would be fun but during like mad service, it would definitely be and a lot of people too. Well, you've seen like how to cut brisket properly and how to cut out everything, and especially too, like, people they're watching, checking out things, so it's probably not as high pressure as like you're trying to run people through, but you're not trying to kill yourselves to make it work. So if people are there, people can say hi to you. You'll be working sides right now, and then eventually who knows what. So that's cool. Have you turned up in a Derby video yet?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I haven't seen you yet.
For the most part, he shoots them. Me and Johnny, our schedules are, besides like service days, they're pretty opposite, and I feel like he shoots those videos like while he's at work or while he's at home, which is whenever I'm not there. So
you're mostly there with Jalen, and
I'm mostly there with Con, my roommate Dell, and Jalen for the most part.
Cool. Well, awesome. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and say hi to the guys, and have a nice rest of your day. And I'm glad we got this going. Thank you so much.
Thank you. See ya.